Hi, I'm Jo Griffiths and I'm the trainer for Bespoke Aroma in spas, and in this video I'm going to show you the routine or suggested routine that you can do for your facial treatments. And I'm going to talk through the products, how best to use them, and just a few techniques. So I'm going to just make sure the client's hair is out of the way. And we're going to begin by cleansing. So I'm going to use the facial cleansing balm, and this is the one for all skin types. And you need roughly about a hazelnut size amount of product. And I like to warm it between my hands just for a few seconds and then apply, starting on the décolleté, working up, just some nice effleurage movements to spread it. And you can see that it's a beautiful balm texture, and it almost turns into an oil when it meets the skin and it warms up a little bit. Because it's a very, very deep cleansing product, unless your client was wearing a lot of makeup, just a single cleanse should be sufficient. So I'm just making sure that I cover all over. This product also comes in a sensitive skin variety, so if you had someone who was concerned about any essential oils or anything, they could use that one. It feels really nice on the skin. Lovely. And I'm going to remove that. So I'm just going to cover the face, just apply gentle pressure just to loosen off that balm, and then sweep from the centre out to remove. And because it includes ingredients like the organic argan oil and the cocoa butter and jojoba oil, your clients will instantly feel that their skin feels nourished. There's none of that nasty, tight skin afterwards with cleansing using some products. Just make sure it's all gone. And then we're going to exfoliate. So as I say, with that cleanser, just only do it once unless you really feel that you have to use it twice to get rid of makeup. Normally once is absolutely fine. We're going to go on to the facial scrub. And this product's really good because of lots of things. I'll tell you in a second. So again, you want to use probably about a hazelnut, and you'll notice that as soon as it hits any warm skin, it starts to change from a butter consistency to an oil. Now this product is really, really good for exfoliating any dead skin cells away, and it's going to make anything that you use afterwards really effective because the product's not having to fight through a layer of dead skin cells. It is of course a physical exfoliator, not a chemical one, and the physical exfoliating particles in it are jojoba beads, and they are perfectly spherical, unlike with a lot of exfoliators that are sharp little shards that can cause micro tears. These are jojoba beads, so they're perfectly spherical, not going to scratch the skin, and I would very much recommend that you don't apply pressure when you're working this product. You just need to let the product do the work for you, and that will stop any kind of redness appearing. So you just want to carefully work it around. These jojoba beads are completely biodegradable, Thank goodness. So we're not filling the oceans with nasty plastic. And I go down the neck, décolleté. Just working nice and gently, but thoroughly. So you try and target those areas that have build-up of dead skin cells. Wonderful. And then you're going to remove that as well. I personally find this product easier to remove using mitts rather than the towel, just to make sure that I'm getting all of those little bits off. So just again, sweep from the centre out. Because you want to make sure that all of those jojoba beads are off so that you don't feel them at the later stage of the facial, like when you're massaging. So I'll go over once and then I'll get another pen. You know, at this point you can really feel that the skin is nicely hydrated. Again, you're not left feeling tight, dry skin. It's nicely moisturised. You can feel there's just the tiniest, thinnest layer of oil left on the skin, so it's not tight and uncomfortable. If you feel like you need to, you can always use a dry towel just to buff to make sure that there's absolutely no particles left. But usually 2 wipes are absolutely fine. And then with the facial toner, so this is a mixture of floral waters and essential oil. So you're going to just give it a quick shake, and you can either apply it to cotton pads, probably about 4 or 5 squirts maybe, and work from the centre out again, working up the face. When I tone again at the end, if I feel like the skin needs another tone, I tend to just put a couple of squirts into my hand and then press it onto the skin. But because we've just exfoliated, this is another good way of making sure that you've got none of those jojoba beads left on the skin. Okay. And the next stage, which is the best stage in my opinion, is the facial massage. I'm going to use a combination of the eye serum and the facial oil. So the eye serum, this is a phenomenal product, one of my favourites, and you want to put probably 1 or 2 pumps into the palm of your hand, and then work it between your first 2 fingers, and I apply around the area first, eye area first. Might go with a little bit more. And it's unscented, so it's really great even for sensitive eyes. And then I would go in with the appropriate facial oil for that client. So in this case we're using the mature facial oil, but it also comes in a dry normal, oily normal and sensitive. And these facial oils smell phenomenal, so the first thing I would always suggest to therapists is that you do an inhalation triangle just for a couple of breaths with the client. So ask them to take a few deep breaths for you. And they're starting to smell that gorgeous smell. And then slowly apply. So just a few of your application movements, however you do them, just to make sure that the product is evenly spread. And as a therapist myself, I would say what sets this facial oil apart is it's incredibly high quality. You're getting slip, but it's not just greasy slip. It's just the perfect amount for you to be able to work over the skin. But then equally, it doesn't sink straight in, so you have to constantly apply more. I usually use 2 pumps when I'm applying it on my clients. If someone had a very, very dry skin, you know, you could use more than that if you wanted to. You'll get to know how much to use yourself when you use them. So we just want to do some nice massage movements to the face and neck and décolleté. Always draining from the centre out for lymphatic drainage. Really work those muscles, help relax them. Because we've applied the eye serum around the eyes, you can work quite closely to them. So I do quite a lot of specific eye work, just because it's an area that a lot of clients say that they feel that they're struggling with. And the eye serum is perfect because it gives you really nice amount of slip, but you still feel in control around a delicate eye area. You wouldn't want something that you felt, you know, you could just slip and potentially hurt them. So you would do whatever movements that you're already familiar with in your own practice. I'm just going to show you a few tools as well. So we've got some gua sha, mushrooms, and the facial roller. So I'll just grab those. So firstly, the rose quartz gua sha. So an important thing about using this tool, if you haven't already, is to try and get it as flat as you possibly can to the face. So you don't want to use it at a 90-degree angle. You want to drop it down to about 45 degrees and then work it along the face, again always from the centre out. So you can do some nice sweeping movements. You can use the different shapes that are on the stone and target them specifically. So if someone had some lines either around the eyes or around the mouth, you could use the pointed part and literally almost as an eraser, as you're trying to rub out those lines. That's going to bring an absolute flush of oxygen and nutrients to that skin, and it's going to help plump out that area. You can use, so we've got the V shape here, so you can hook that underneath the cheekbone. Again, just try and keep it as flush to the skin as you can. Also feels really good working around the eyes, between the eyebrows, and sweep it down. So nice and flat sweeps. Really good for lymphatic drainage. So that's the gua sha. With the facial oil as well, at this stage I would use rose quartz crystal mushrooms, and these are nice and cool, so it feels lovely, particularly in the summer, or if clients are prone to hot flushes. Feels really nice and cooling. You can put them in cold or ice water, but then that makes them very, very cold. So that's fine, but you would ideally advise them beforehand that that's what you were going to do, because it will feel shockingly cold to them. So whenever you're going to use something cold, or a different temperature, I always like to just do a couple of very small movements first of all, just to let them know it's coming. And then using them both simultaneously, because that feels really luxurious, do some nice, slow, deep circles, sweeps out from the centre. It feels amazing, and it's just another way of really helping that facial oil to penetrate into the skin. Helps with puffiness. Do some nice circles. Work to the temple area. Feels great. So that's using the larger end. If you swap it round so that you've got the tinier end, that's ideal for working around the eye area. So again, nice circles, nice sweeps. You can do as much work as you want to. They do warm up quite quickly in your hands, especially if you're someone with very warm hands like I am. So you can always have 2 sets to work between, swap between, and that way you can keep swapping between them to keep them cool. So that's really good. And then we've got the rose quartz facial roller. So this is a much more gentle tool to use as opposed to the gua sha and the crystal mushrooms. So it's for lymphatic drainage, just like the others, but you want to always work from the centre and then up, and it's really, really gentle. If you have someone whose skin flushes very easily, for instance, probably better to use this kind of tool. And it feels really gorgeous because it's so smooth. And you can do some nice gentle kind of back and forth zigzagging. And you can sweep down and you can go down the neck if you wanted to. And again, this one has a smaller one at the other end, so if you wanted to do some nice circles around the eye area to help with puffiness, you could do that. Or just use it more specifically for smaller areas. So that's that one. So it's just another way of bringing in another element to your facial massage, and they feel great because your hands will be warm from the oil and the other products, and the treatment room's warm, and then to incorporate something a bit cooler feels really, really nice. So the next thing I want to show you is mask. And this one here is the clay mask. So you can mix it up. So it comes in a dry powder, and it's French pink clay, which is what gives it that kind of beautiful pink colour, and white clay, which is soothing, and it's also got some mango in there, which is really, really hydrating and improves skin elasticity. So I would probably use 2 masks for most clients. I would use the clay mask probably down the centre panel of the face, and to make the perfect consistency you want to mix it with 4 pumps roughly of the appropriate toner for that client, so they'll get those lovely smells again as well. And you just want to paint a really thin layer, it doesn't need to be thick. All over the centre panel there. And then, because generally with most clients they tend to be drier towards the outside of the face, the cheeks, I'll go in with the warm oil face mask as well. And this is another gorgeous buttery texture. So just using your little metal spatula there. Again, I'd say probably hazelnut size. And you'll notice that as soon as it hits your warm hands, it starts to melt. So it's so hydrating for the skin. It's got rose hip oil in it, which is going to help combat signs of aging, vitamin E, which is a fantastic antioxidant. And I'd apply that to all of the areas on the face that I didn't apply the other mask. It's a bit see-through, this one, so you can't see it as well on the camera. And then I work the rest of the product between my hands, slide down the neck and onto the décolleté. That one comes in a sensitive blend as well, which is fantastic. It smells gorgeous. It's got orange, sweet orange and frankincense. They're going to stimulate cell renewal, so it's really good for older or mature skins. And I'd let those dry probably for about 10, possibly 15 minutes. And you'll notice when it's ready to come off the clay mask, because it will go that white colour, this warm oil mask doesn't dry like that. It stays pretty much the kind of consistency that you put it on with. So you have to just know when to take that off. And your skin will feel absolutely amazing and so hydrated. Whilst the mask is on, I tend to do scalp massage or possibly hand and arm massage or foot massage. Whatever your normal procedure is, that's absolutely fine. And then you can remove it. Always make sure that you have probably 2 sets of mitts or 2 hot towels, just to make sure that you're getting all of it off. So you can see already it's starting to dry around the nose area. So I'll remove that. So you want to place the hot towel across the décolleté, bring it up over the chin, fold over, and then the same with the other side, fold over. And you can see that they can still breathe. They're not going to feel like they're being smothered because they've got their mouth exposed and their nose. And because that clay mask drying, and it would obviously be drier normally because you would leave it on longer, you just want to apply some nice gentle pressures to the face, just so that hot steam can start interacting with the products on the skin and start to ease them away from the skin. You're going to simply wipe them away using a fresh bit of towel or mitt, whichever you use each time. As I say, I'm going to go in with the second one just to make sure that it's all thoroughly off. Apply to the décolleté, fold up over the chin, all over the face. Just do some nice massaging movements, pressures, and then remove again. It's always worth having 2 sets in the cabbie for this stage, just to make sure that if the first lot doesn't get it off completely, you've got something to use. Nothing worse than having to quickly, hurriedly run a towel under a hot tap, because it's just not the same as one that's been properly warmed. There we are. So that's all off. I'm going to go in with another application of facial toner. So again, just a really quick shake. 1 or 2 pumps in the hand, and I want to just gently press that into the skin, and it'll be nice and cooling after you've just had the hot towels on to remove the mask. Just press that onto the skin. One pump of the eye serum again. And you want to make sure that obviously you're applying less this time, because this is what they're going to be heading out of the treatment room with, so they don't want too much product on their skin. And you know, just do some nice movements that you would normally use with a traditional eye cream. Just really tap it into the skin, and it sinks in so quickly because of that jojoba oil. Feels great. Really gonna give another nice moisture shot to the skin. And then you'd use your corresponding facial cream. So I'm using the mature one today, and I tend to use about 5 pumps. It comes in a mature blend, a dry to normal, oily to normal, and a sensitive one, so you've got a perfect choice for any skin type there. You want to apply a nice thin layer all over the skin. This one's got macadamia oil in it, so it's super moisturising and nourishing, and it sinks in quickly, but not too quickly. You've still got a little bit of time to do some nice relaxing movements. You're not having to kind of constantly apply more and drag it across the skin or anything like that. It's just perfect for a nice last layer of hydration. There we go. And that would be the end of your routine.